Today we will talk about chemical bonding. Okay, this is our chapter, and in this chapter we will discuss about the different types of bond, what type of force of attraction will exist in between them, and how the we can say that how bonds are formed. Okay, in between the molecule. So first, our content is that is how many bonds are there means the type of bonds. Okay, so types of bond, first we will discuss about electrovalent bond, and which is also known as ionic bond. Okay, so let's start. Ionic bond. Its name suggests that the bond which is formed in between the ions, but that is not the particularly thing because the covalent compounds can also form the ions. But ionic bonds generally in between the ions. Let's take an example, that is NaNCl. Okay, so in between Na and Cl, we all know that when NaCl dissociate into the water, it will give the Na plus ion plus Cl minus ion. And if we consider the electronic configuration of Na and Cl, right? Na, which has the atomic number of 11, and its configuration is 1s2, 2s2, and 2p6, and 3s1. And all these powers are the number of electrons. If we add this, we will get the sum of 11. That means 11 number of electrons. That means the sodium has the atomic number 11. That's all the powers are the number of electrons. Okay. So overall, if you write this, the 2, 8, 1. Okay. So 1 is the valence shell electron of sodium atom. तो देखो अभी क्या होता है, अभी अगर हम ये सोडियम एटम का एक न्यूक्लियस, एटम का एक न्यूक्लियस हम कंसीडर कर रहे हैं, तो ये है न्यूक्लियस. ओके, तो वहां पे कितना नंबर ऑफ सेल्स है? 3 नंबर ऑफ सेल्स. ओके, तो ये हो गया हमारा 1, ये हो गया 2, और ये है थर्ड नंबर ऑफ सेल्स. तो इन फर्स्ट सेल देयर आर 2 electrons are present, and in second cell there are 8 electrons are present, and in third cells there are 1 electron is present. And we all know that sodium is the alkali metal, and which has the property of losing an electron, because all the metals are the electropositive in nature, right? And as it is already discussed about in the periodic classification of elements, alkali metals which has the oxidation number of +1. So easily sodium can lose an electron, because why it is loses an electron? Because if it loses an electron, its outermost electrons become 8 now. Okay, 8, that means it has the octet in its outer shell. According to the octet rule, the stable electronic configuration is that which has the 2 electron in its outermost shell, and if it has the 8 electron in its outermost shell. To complete its octet, sodium can lose an electron. If we consider the chlorine atom that has the 17 atomic number, and its configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, and 3s2, 3p5. Okay, 1s2, 2s2, this is the first cell. Okay, this is the second cell, and this will be the third cell. In the third cell, that means third cell is the outermost cell, or you can say that the valence cell, and in valence cell it has the 7 electron. Okay, in order to make it octet, that means in order to make it 8 electrons, chlorine needs only 1 electrons to complete its octet. That means chlorine has the highest electron gain enthalpy. We know that electron gain enthalpy means the amount of energy released when one electron is added in the outermost shell of a neutral gaseous atom or isolated gaseous atom. So chlorine has the highest electron affinity among all the periodic table. Okay, we all know that. So let's see. If we form a bond between the sodium and chlorine, sodium has the 1 electron in its outermost shell, but chlorine has the 7 electron in its outermost shell. Okay. So in order to make it 8 electron in the outermost shell, sodium can transfer 1 electron to the chlorine atom, by which chlorine has the 8 electron in its outermost shell. If we consider the sodium that has the atomic number 281. By losing one electron, now sodium has the 28. That means 8 is now the valence electron. Okay, by losing one electron, sodium complete its 8 electron in its outer shell. Valence electron is 8. By gaining an electron, chlorine has the 8 electron in its outermost shell. But if we look into the sodium atom, sodium losing one electron, but chlorine does not sharing one electron to the sodium atom, because if it shares one electron, then sodium has the 2 electron in its outermost shell. But it cannot be possible because sodium is the metal atom, right? And metals do not metal atom, and sodium has the only one valency. Outermost shell has a +1, means it has the only +1 valency it can show, but it does not show +2 valency, right? That's why chlorine does not shares one electron to the sodium metal atom, but sodium has the capacity to lose one electron. That means here no sharing occurs. Rather than there is transfer of electron takes place. This transfer of electrons is called the transfer of electrons by which a bond is formed. That bond is called the ionic bond. Okay, if we consider in between the Na and Cl, there the bond is called the ionic bond, and the which force of attraction exists in between that? There is electrostatic force of attraction. Okay, so electrostatic force of attraction, because by transferring one electron, fluorine gains partially negative charge. By losing one electron, sodium gets partially positive charge. The charge separation there occurs, and we know that if charge separation occurs, then that molecule becomes polar, and due to the oppositely charged particles are there, the force exists between them is electrostatic force of attraction. Okay, let's take another example of magnesium chloride. Here also ionic bond is formed. How? Let's see. Magnesium has the atomic number of 12, that is 2H2. That means outer shell electron that has the 2. If it loses 2 electron, it has the 8 electron in its valence shell. Okay, and we also know that magnesium belongs to the alkaline earth metal group. That means it has the valency of +2. It can easily loses 2 electron. Okay, and chlorine, we already see chlorine has the atomic number 17, and it has the 281 configuration. 287 configuration. By gaining 1 electron, it will become the 8 electron in its valence shell. So let's draw the structure of MgCl2, how it forms. MgCl, here Cl. Mg has the 2 electrons in its outermost shell, which can be partially divided into the 2 chlorine atom, as there is 2 chlorine atom present. Okay, chlorine has the 7 electron in its outermost shell. Here also chlorine has 7 electron. Now look, Mg, which only transfer the electrons to the chlorine atom. By gaining 1 electron, chlorine has the 8 electron in its outermost shell. Here also magnesium is transferring 1 electron, and chlorine atom 8 electron in its outermost shell. By transferring the 2 electrons, now now the magnesium has the electronic configuration of 2, 8. Now 8 is the valence shell electron. Okay, so by this magnesium chloride has also formed a ionic bond. Okay, so this is the concept how the ionic bond is formed. If we define the ionic bond, the bond which is formed between the two elements by transferring of electron permanently. Okay, permanently when transferring 1 electron from one element to another, and another element is only just receiving 1 electron from the other one. Okay, that bond is called the ionic bond. And which type of force exists in between? That force is the electrostatic force of attraction. Okay, today we discuss about the how the ionic bond are formed, and then in next video we will discuss about on which factor actually ionic bonds are depending upon, and how the actually the ionic bonds are formed, because the definition says that whatever the either that it may be the electron gain enthalpy or that may be ionization energy, and in that part we just discussed that the either the energy absorbed or the energy released from an isolated gaseous atom. Okay, so how actually gaseous atoms are formed by transferring the solid metal into the gaseous form. Okay, we know that how ionic bonds are formed and how which type of force exists in between them. And in next video, we will discuss about the factors. Okay, the factors on which ionic bonds actually depends upon. There are many factors like actually there are many three factors are there, but we will discuss about all the three factors, and that will be the most interesting part of that. That how ionic bonds are actually formed, and we will discuss about the Born-Haber cycle also in the next video. Okay. Up to this, we will just know how the ionic bonds are formed and which type of force are existing in between them. And in this video, we completely know that how the actually the ionic bonds are formed. Okay, and we'll see in the next video. Till then, thank you. Bye.